Hello and welcome to another video. And in this video we're going to be talking about Trump parade and the protest that happened in that day. Yes, it was a parade. It didn't look that good. Okay, you guys know that I'm from another country, and in that country that I grew up until I was like 22, we used to have in the certain battles that was celebrated and Independence Days, we used to have a parade, a military parade. And the military, the way that they march is like completely synchronized. This one, the military in the United States, they wasn't having it. I bet they didn't want it to be there, and they was like, well, we're just gonna walk. I'm glad that the military did that, because in that way he didn't have his sensational dictator parade that he wanted to. He just wanted to have like Kim Jong-un parade, and he didn't have it. So please stay towards the end, because this video is really interesting. I prepared it especially for you, and you're gonna love it. Okay, so stay towards the end, and just please drop a like, subscribe. These videos are completely free. Okay, so I just only ask you to please drop a like and subscribe to my channel, become part of the family. Okay, and yes, we speak politics and we love it. Okay, so and drop me a comment. What do you think about the parade that he just have? Okay, it's not the USA military wasn't prepared. It's the biggest and the best army on the planet, but I guess the army here, they wasn't having it. It was like, we just don't care. Okay, so just drop a like. Thank you.
79 years of life, and this is Donald J. Trump's worst birthday ever. And that's saying something, because we know he was teased as a kid. Because, I mean, wouldn't you tease the guy? Look at him there. He's so disappointed. It's my party. I can cry if I want to, but I have to be strong. I have to be a tough Republican man. Melania's there like, dude, I cannot believe you made me show up for this. There's like a few thousand people here. This is embarrassing, man. What are you doing? Pete Hegseth's over there like, oof, this is kind of rough, man. I gotta text the boys in the group chat, see if we can get a drink after this. This is absolutely brutal. What a complete failure from this group of incompetent people. Today was an absolute failure for them. No King's protests, millions nationwide, every big city, all 50 states standing up against fascism, standing up against dictators who think they can throw some North Korean Kim Jong-un, look at me, I'm the man type parade. Well, listen, Donald, the people have spoken today, and the people want you gone.
Okay, were any of my fellow veterans out there caught off guard by just how shitty Trump's military parade looked? I don't know about the rest of you guys, but I was genuinely shocked. Now, don't get me wrong, the United States Army has plenty of problems, but finding the pageantry and stagecraft necessary to pull off a tight public performance, not generally one of them. They pretty much nail that one every time. The presentation of the equipment was lackluster and uninspiring. The uniforms didn't look all that sharp. The marching was a horror story. Like, they're just walking, nobody's in step. I couldn't believe what I was witnessing. I don't know, the entire thing just seemed tacky, cheap, and unprofessional to me, which is really funny when you consider the fact that they went out of their way to tell you that this was sponsored by random crypto scams.
Special thanks to our sponsor, Coinbase.
It's like a bad dream. To end on a good note, whenever I saw one of the Army marching bands, they looked pretty tight. They seemed squared away. And to end on an even better note, I love that the thing was sparsely attended. It couldn't happen.
The marching for the military, it have a rhythm to it. Okay, have a rhythm where everything, it looks like perfectly aligned. It's almost like a kind of it's almost like a dance step kind of thing, because you're just walking, but you're just walking perfectly aligned, the one with the other one. And he just said that he wasn't impressed. It just wasn't impressive. It was not impressive, because they were out of the rhythm. They wasn't lined up in the way they need to be lined up. But I think they did it on purpose. I don't think that they just didn't know how to do it. I think they just did truly, the military did it on purpose. I just truly think it was like They was like, F it, you know, F it. We're just gonna just walk. And it wasn't because I wasn't capable to do it. I think that the military is, like I told you, is the best military on the planet. They just didn't want it to do it. They just many benefits from the veterans, from the military. I bet they didn't want it to do that. They didn't want it to participate in that parade for him. And the uniforms, like the guy was saying, the uniforms wasn't sharp. The equipment, okay, the cars, all the things, the tanks, all these things, it wasn't looking that.
Donald Trump's birthday has been ruined as the No Kings protests are far bigger than anybody expected. First, they're across all 50 states. There's over 2,100 different rallies. I'm here in Binghamton, New York, which is not a big city. And usually a protest here gets about 20 people, 30 people tops. There are 1,000 people here at least. But to put it in Trump's terms, there's about 200,000 people here. But we have to harness this energy. This cannot be a one-day only thing, because we are just 15 months away from one of the most important elections in my lifetime, in our lifetime. The 2026 midterms will be our opportunity to take back some of the power, to take back control, to take the House and hold Donald Trump and his administration accountable. This will be our chance, but what we're seeing today is amazing. And the best part, after the rain ruins Donald Trump's birthday parade, when he gets back home and turns on the news, he is going to see these rallies as the main story and not his parade. Nobody is going to be glorifying him.
Pressure really does work on the taco. It really does. You know, he had his first 100 days, and they didn't go well because he got pushed back. He thought he could just use a stroke of a pen, everybody would fall in line, everybody would revere him, and he would get to be a king with minimal effort. Just sign it, decree it, and it is done. And he hasn't gotten that, and has been very frustrating for him, you know, because he is older. And why wouldn't you want a low effort kingdom? He's not getting that. So now we're trying the next 100 days with the military. But he's got a lot of problems there. And last night he said, hey, you know, let's not do ice at the farms, restaurants, hotels, hospitality places. And, you know, maybe let's not do raids. Let's stay focused on the bad guys. Why did he say that? Pressure. Pressure. Just like with the tariffs. He starts to wobble because the polls are going down. Images are coming out. So he thinks he can just be this tough guy and everybody will submit. I think he's just used to doing that in his life. He just says, you do it, and people get scared and they do it. And all the yes men around him, he tells them to do it, and they're like, oh, okay, sir. So it gives him a false sense of what people will do. You know, they're blowing smoke up his rear end. Oh, yeah, people love these policies. The polling says otherwise. He's dropping. And even deportations is now way underwater. Everything's underwater. He dropped 5 points this week or something. The deportations are only going to go lower. You think this thing with Iran and Israel is going to help him? No. He knows the polls are going to get worse for him there too. And that's the thing. He wants to be a king, but he wants to be liked. Schmittler didn't care if he was liked. He was a politician. He was there for a mission. Trump's more there for grift. And like, yeah, he'd like to be a dictator, but also, is this going to be very stressful? He is older, right? So, you know, these images come out of these kids being torn away from their parents, teenagers getting taken, you know, all the things that they're seeing, and people on the right are like, you know, there's a lot of them, it's like, yeah, that's not cool. That's not what we signed up for. I've seen a lot of it on here. And even Kim K, whether you like her or not, she's friends with Trump. She's like, yeah, there's got to be a better way. So as Hollywood starts pushing back, all of us keep pushing back. He doesn't want to be seen. So he wants to be seen as like an alpha, but he wants to be seen as merciful. So that's why now he's back to like, oh yeah, just the bad guys, just the bad guys. And part of why he cares is him wanting to be a king. He wants the elite to look at him like a king. So he has to portray himself a certain way, right? He can't just be an absolute menace. And he just really thought he could do the minimal amount of things. People would fall in line, and they're not. Harvard gives them the middle finger. Those foreign students are able to come here now. Like, do you see what I'm saying? Like, you thought, okay, I'll just say Kilmar Abrego Garcia is going to stay down there. No, he's coming back. The courts don't just cave to him. So he's, having a little bit of an identity crisis right now. He thought he could just shove all those guys out there and it was going to work. But here's the other thing. If you send all of your troops overseas, whether they want to be there or not, they're overseas. They're away from their family. They have to rely on each other, right? They're not even close to home. So whether they like the president or not, whether they like the job or not, that's what they signed up for. It is very different here. We've not had a president that put them out there and is acting like they could turn on us. Half of them don't want to be there. Half of them are close to their house. Half of them could turn on him, technically. The other half that do like him, they still live here. If they still take action on us, there's phones in their face. People can find them. Do you see what I'm saying? It's a very different game he's playing. This isn't just, schmore tactics, war tactics. It's also social media tactics. This is a much harder game for him to win. This is a harder game than any schmicktators ever tried to win. And you're doing it with a bunch of people who don't like to be told what to do and who are weaponized. And they know that. They know there's way more of us than them. So when you get down, like, there just won't be enough. He's weak. He's wounded. And the entire staff around him is a clown show. That is a Fox News White House. You wipe off Kristi Noem's makeup and take off her extensions. What do you have? A sad little woman. It's all smoke and mirrors. And as we take our leaf blowers and keep turning them that direction, the smoke is going to clear. And they're going to feel very exposed as frauds. So all we have to keep doing is putting on the pressure. Like I said, it's like a tourniquet. And this is the long arm of the law. Well, you keep turning that tourniquet every time we show up, every time we resist, every time we call representatives, every time we say F you, no, no, no. And, I think some people would say, fine, it's keep going, and it's sort of just be an all-out battle. I think they go, ow. Could you stop doing that? Could we roll back the tariffs, and could we roll back how we're doing these raids? Because ow. That's the taco in chief. So keep up the pressure. It's work.
I think my favorite thing about Dear Leader's multi-million-dollar military parade today is the fact that there are currently hundreds of thousands of active duty service members and their families living in military housing absolutely riddled with life-threatening black mold. Truly, I am just overwhelmed with gratitude that the Commander-in-Chief is prioritizing his little strongman birthday soiree when there are tens of thousands of military children drinking poisoned water at the bases their active duty parents are stationed at. I mean, nothing shows support and gratitude for our active duty service members quite like tanks on the streets and fighter jets doing loop-de-loops over the Potomac while military wives bathe their babies in water tainted with jet fuel. As the wife of an active duty service member myself, I know that being given the opportunity to watch this little parade from the dilapidated that they're currently stationed at across the nation makes all of that sacrifice for their country really worth it, Sure, you aren't actually able to attend the parade yourself due to being active duty and all, and sure, your barracks has exposed wiring hanging from the ceiling and walls that are literally crumbling down around you, but minor issues like basic quality of life and the health of your entire immediate family are easy to set aside when you remember that true patriotism is making sure the Commander-in-Chief, who never actually served at all, gets his big, flashy parade.
I built a small little following on here, mainly for being an anti-Trump Republican. And so if this video is coming up on your FYP or you follow me, you might be similar to me in the fact that you have family members that are MAGA. So I wanted to make this video just to talk about everything that's going on in our country right now, especially in regards to immigration. And maybe you could send this video to those family members of yours that identify as MAGA as a way for them to just hear a different perspective on the issue from someone who also is a registered Republican. I've heard many on the right say, look, I'm not anti-immigrant, I just support legal immigration. And that's what's so interesting about what was happening in LA prior to the protests beginning and the riots breaking out, is that ICE was showing up to courthouses where immigrants were going to have their immigration court hearings and then was arresting those folks after their court hearings and hauling them off in vans. So these people were doing exactly what they're told to do, and then this administration is punishing them for doing it the right way. If you don't see how that just encourages more illegal immigration, then you're kind of missing the plot here. And if you say to me, well, Sarah, they're illegal aliens, we need to be removing them from this country. Just pause for a moment and look at the language that you just used. You called another human being an alien. That is dehumanizing language that you might have heard on Fox News. And that's because they're encouraging you to dehumanize these folks so that you don't feel empathy for them for the situation that they're in. And before you write me off as some lib or that I'm woke or any other term you want to call me, I'm not advocating for open borders. I'm not advocating for illegal immigration. All that I'm advocating for is to live in a country that lives up to its values. The base of the Statue of Liberty reads, "Give me your tired, give me your poor, give me your huddled masses yearning to breathe free." And that's because that's the idea that this country was founded upon. And as a Christian, if my faith has taught me anything, it's that every single human being was created in God's image and deserves dignity. Jesus didn't ask people for papers before he showed them mercy. He led with compassion and told us to love thy neighbor. So maybe instead of villainizing immigrants, what we should be doing is demanding more of our politicians, because
it's a parade and it's $25 million.
Let them have it.
Parades with military equipment, heavy tanks, artillery, those things cause damage.
I think they definitely should do it more often.
That's a lot of money for a parade.
They spend a lot of money on a lot of other things. I think this is a worthy cause.
That is absolutely a good cause.
I wish our tax dollars weren't paying for it, but I wish our tax dollars weren't paying for a lot of things.
Complete waste of money, not worth it.
There's issues with our budget, so that is definitely expenditures that we should not be embarking on.
Sounds like a lot of money. We have a lot of people sleeping on the street.
It's a waste of a significant amount of money, in my opinion, for someone's ego.
I don't really have an opinion based on the costs of things.
They defend our rights, our freedoms here in America. I don't see that as a big expense.
I find it surprising that it's going to be on his birthday.
So that's an interesting coincidence.
That just happens to be a coincidence.
It sounds like it's more of a celebration of him.
I don't know why we wouldn't be able to celebrate both.
When, you know, the last video when they asked to people if he should have a parade or not, many of the people say, you know, we just have more things that we need to spend the money on it. We are in the process of cutting the budget. We are in the process of why you just don't put that money to better use. Some people that maybe is Trump supported, they say, okay, I agree with it. Okay, that's what I just wanted to put that interview. I think the interview is for the BBC. Okay, that they interview people on the streets for see what they just think about the parade. Many of them that maybe Trump supported, they say, oh yeah, he want to get the parade, let him have a parade. But many of them say, okay, we have more things to spend our money on it. Let's don't have that parade. And this is the thing, also because DT, the orange buffon, like I call him, he had taken away so many benefits from the military. And imagine the low moral for our militaries to march for that man, even when the majority of them, they voted for Trump. The veterans and the military, the majority of them voted for Trump. Even when they voted for Trump, imagine.
Listen, if you are MAGA and you still support what is going on, I despise you. I think you are an awful human being, and there is a warm place in hell for you. And I fully believe that, and I stand on that. The fact that this administration is taking children from foster homes, think about that. They are taking children from foster homes. And you guys are okay with this. I thought this was just about the criminals. I thought this was just getting the bad guys out. No, they're deporting children, infants, babies, taking them out of safe places and sending them to detention centers, away from any kind of love, warmth, care, 3 meals a day, a bed. Think about that, MAGA. Think about that. You guys are disgusting, despicable human beings if you still support what this administration is.
I had to comment about this that is happening with the kids that are in foster care. These kids are being removed from foster care parents. They've been loving to these kids. They've been good to these kids, and for big suffering for the parents, big suffering for the kids. It's just so inhumane, and in a true Trump fashion, like he did the last time that he was we need to remember the last time that he was on power, the last time that he was the president, he lost 1,200 kids. After that, for 300 of the kids, they found the parents of those kids, but still 900 kids got lost on the system. 900 kids got lost on the system. So he's just doing this. This made me so furious. I get infuriated with this. So he's just doing it all over again, and I cannot even believe that some Latino people voted for this piece of shit. I'm just so irritated by it. What they doing for foster. Those kids for foster care, they already lost a lot. They are already traumatized. What else do you want to take away from those kids? It just made me so infuriated. I was a foster parent for many years, so these kids been through severe trauma, and you're just taking away the things from these kids. The only thing they had, that they finally found some kind of stable family and stability to send them to concentration camps. Who can vote for this, or who can support this? This is just insane.
I've been trying to make this video for about 15 minutes now. I want to say something about political violence, but I have a feeling that people are going to misinterpret me. So, let me just say, you need to go to the end, okay? We're going to hear a lot of people today talk about how political violence is never justified. And that is always and will always be a stupid thing to say. I know. Shh. Follow along. We are dealing with Nazis. The whole country knows this. Come on, we're not stupid. Nazis don't pull punches. At least not in my experience. Nazis don't give a fuck about you, or anything you feel, or any thoughts that you might have. They just don't care. They just don't. Unfortunately, the moral and ethical high ground are not bulletproof. So when you're dealing with Nazis and you represent the other side, you have a target on you. Right. We should all be aware of this. The fact that Democratic politicians are walking around as if there is no target on their back is hilarious right now, especially given what just happened to Alex Padilla. You let the Nazis in. Once you let them in, they don't leave till you get rid of them. And none of the Democratic politicians are doing or saying the hard thing, the thing that needs to be said. The thing that needs to be said is we must get rid of white supremacy. We must get rid of supremacy. We must get rid of these people who are pushing evil in our country. We have to actually say there are some opinions we cannot tolerate. We have to actually say we do not tolerate intolerance. Until we do that, our government isn't just. It isn't just. It will piss people off. And the more violence it does to the people, the more violence the people will do back. Right now, we are in the largest wealth gap that we have ever had. So, you want to tell me about the taxation without representation thing again? Because that's how the war started. What I'm trying to say is that you are perpetuating and building a system. Politicians on both sides are building a system that does need violence and will use it. Let's be clear. If you're out here trying to do the business of an election by yourself, you're wrong. If you're out here trying to defend people that are not you, then you might be right. The difference is simple. It's Mangione versus Booth. Are you out here trying to get rid of somebody you don't like? Or are you out here trying to defend people who are being hurt? You have to pick one or the other in this system that they are setting up that is nothing but violence. You have to pick one. They're the ones who built it. They're the ones making it so that we have to pick one. They're the ones depriving us of our needs at the same time that they're telling us we should pull ourselves up by our bootstraps. We will see more like this, and it will not stop until the government actually decides to be an equitable government again. What I'm trying to say is it's not just Trump's rhetoric that causes this. It's Trump's inability to lead that causes this. It's Trump's ineffectualness that causes this. It's the breakdown of the government and the breakdown of the relationship with the people. The people used to see the government as an assistant, right? It's there to give me things or do things for me. It's there to keep things safe. It's there to blah, blah. They no longer see it that way. They see it as an impediment. They see the government as an impediment to their life. You are creating a system where people will do things that are life and death. And right now, you and I don't like the target of it. But tomorrow it might be somebody we don't mind, right? But does that make it right? No. Morals and ethics are not real. They're not real in the world. Animals don't have them. Nobody in the universe gives a shit about them but us. That's it. Us. We invented them to govern our behavior, to moderate how we interact with one another. What's considered good versus evil, right? What's considered acceptable behavior versus unacceptable behavior. We invented morals and ethics. We did. We invented them. If we don't adhere to them, they don't exist. I need to say that one more time. If we don't adhere to morals and ethics, they don't exist. Okay. If you want a moral and ethical society, then you have to adhere to morals and ethics. So I don't want to hear anything from any politician about how this is uncalled for. That's easy for you to say. You're not the one who's living paycheck to paycheck and probably suffering from an illness and also going bankrupt. You're not the person doing that. You get a salary, you get free health care for life. Weird how we gave our politicians all of the whiz-bangs we should have given ourselves. They have it. They don't ever need to seek it for us because they have it. See the system? See the system. Inherently set up so that we become second-class citizens and they become first-class citizens. They're not going to stop things that take away their privilege. So people talk about how this is all tragic. Yes, it is tragic. It's tragic that one person who shouldn't have left this earth left this earth. It's tragic. Every time that happens, it's tragic. But I don't see a solution here unless Democrats decide to stand up to it. I don't see a solution here. I don't see Democrats pursuing a solution. I don't see a solution that's going to end violence. The violence will continue, and it will only get worse until the Nazis and white supremacists are out of our fucking country. We can talk about how tragic this is, and we can talk about the madness of one group of people. We can talk about the insanity of one man who made a stupid decision. We can talk about that all day long, but it does not get rid of the problem. Until this man is out of office, we do not have a community. And until those white supremacists are rounded up and put in prison, we do not actually have ethics. The one thing a tolerant society cannot tolerate is intolerance. Until we get rid of white supremacy in this country, it will not stop being violent. This will never stop until we get rid of the iniquity in our society.
Perfect. All right, Saturday, June 14th. We're here at Dolores Park in San Francisco. And we have a very, very large buck ice. But man, it is a beautiful, beautiful, glorious day here in San Francisco. We got Falcon here with his new stick. Howdy. All right, stay safe today, everybody.
This is the observation deck on the top of Los Angeles City Hall. I think we're 26 or more stories up above the protests down there. And the mayor of LA says there's something like 20,000 people in the streets of downtown Los Angeles right now. About as far as the eye can see, there's people coming from all directions at this No King's Day protest.
The orange narcissist that sits in the White House would like to be known as the most memorable president in history. I would say today will certainly put him way up there. In my lifetime, I don't recall any other president ever having had so many protests against him. In fact, I don't ever remember any other president having a protest against him until Donald Trump, when he was 45 and now 47. This time around, there's been, this is for sure the third, possibly the fourth protest against him, and this one is gone countrywide. There's millions of people protesting against him. There are people around the world protesting against him. This is a really, really amazing sign of unity for those that are not happy with his administration. So all I ask is that you guys be safe, but make sure he's remembered.
Well, what I'm glad about it is the parade that he just, that we all pay for it. I wanted to say that he paid for it, but it wasn't. We all pay for it. It wasn't a success. I guess that give me a little bit the satisfaction to know there was a lot in these seats. Give me a lot of satisfaction that he didn't get what he wanted, that he have a parade that didn't even look good. He just wanted to have a Kim Jong-un parade. The military of this country didn't let him to have it. Yes, and it seems like we all pay for this, okay? We all pay for this parade. It was, I think the cost was like 95 million or something. It could have been used to provide food to kids in foster care. It could have been used for Medicaid and Medicare. It could have been used for so many different things. And we just spent 95 million in a stupid parade. So please help us to grow liberal media. Please don't forget giving a like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps my channel to grow, and it really helps other people to find my content and my videos. Thank you.